Hi everyone, I'll be speaking on design thinking, how it helps us all, particularly in the renovation of the university's library. As we applied it, design thinking is a creative, empathetic approach to problem solving. We started our journey by truly comprehending and identifying with the difficulties that our library patrons endured. We were able to gather important information about their needs and goals using surveys and empathy mapping. Our group then discussed the issue. We pinpointed major issues like the need for more welcoming space, the difficulty in accessing library resources. Three creative ideas emerged from our joint problem solving sessions: a mobile library app, an online library experience, and the incorporation of green areas. We were able to quickly realize these ideas through prototyping. We developed low tech prototypes, tested them repeatedly, and improved our solutions in response to user input. Ultimately, we've improved our concepts and validated them through testing. The end result was a set of creative, practical, and user centered solutions. Our experience with design thinking had demonstrated that we can make our university library dynamic, more welcoming, and future friendly place by identifying challenges and developing creative prototyping repeatedly and carefully testing. Thank you.
There are many ways to describe design thinking. However, the definition that I have come up with is a discipline that matches people's wants with what is particular possible in terms of technology and business strategy. There are three elements in design thinking. They are viability, feasibility, and desirability. A design thinking approach needs to encumberate all of these when making a decision. So, our team dug into the issues facing the university library by talking directly to the people who use it. We wanted to figure out what was working, what wasn't, and what could be improved, and how we can make things better. First off, we did my favorite thing, number crunching, and sent out a surveys to library users. We wanted to get a sense of how happy they were and how they were using it and what thought could be improved. So we gathered quantitative information. Then we got everyone together for some workshop sessions. We used design thinking to help come up with ideas. Next, we took those ideas and created some simple prototypes. These weren't anything fancy, just rough drafts to test our ideas. Finally, we took all that feedback and made some tweaks. We kept going backwards and forwards, trying to figure out new ideas and listening to what people had to say until we came up with solutions that really hit the mark. Our approach of interviews, surveys, and brainstorming helped us figure out exactly what the library needed to help users happy.
So, upon identifying the areas in which needed improvement, our team was able to decide upon three solutions. These solutions included number one, a virtual library experience, number two, green spaces, and number three, a mobile library app, all of which we'll go into further detail on right now.
So, our team conducted a variety of literature and research that can best support our design thinking proposals of redesigning the library. So, as Kayla mentioned before in the previous slides, our proposals were VR experience, mobile app, and green space. So, the first article we found was a pretty valuable source. It discusses that virtual learning experiences can have a positive impact on online learning, even though it doesn't directly talk about offline approaches like the library. It still does gives us insights on principles of learning, technology integration, as well as potentially looking at hybrid models. So maybe having face-to-face communication as well as online could be an idea as well. Second article provides insights into the process of updating third-party libraries in mobile app development. This is useful in our proposal as we can use this article to understand mobile technology trends, app features and functions, integration of third-party services, etc. Lastly, the third article was the most promising in my opinion. It carried out a study that explores the impact of indoor plants on stress and mental well-being. During the study, it actually had been proven to reduce stress and improve well-being with just only 5 minutes of being in this new environment. So I think this is a really great finding for us to support our green space proposal.
So, starting with the first solution, the virtual library experience, through insights that we had gathered from user surveys and empathy mapping sessions, we were able to identify a crucial need for extended access to library resources beyond the traditional operating hours. And so, our solution for the virtual library was able to not only meet this need, but also eliminate the necessity that would come with 24-hour staffing. So during a 3-week trial period, we created a very basic working model of the virtual library experience, which essentially allowed users on a very, very basic level to navigate the library, access resources, and even interact with staff. We even had a themed audio ASMR study session that utilized the Pomodoro technique, which is a study method for staying focused and mentally fresh. Of course, we've then done surveys where we were able to collect essential qualitative and quantitative data to then further refine the prototype and ensure that it was meeting user needs. This trial period, of course, provided very valuable insights into user engagement and satisfaction, as it was able to not only inform us of any adjustments that were needed, but ensure that we were meeting what people actually wanted. Of course, then through implementing these various design thinking principles, our solution was able to remain user-centric, iterative, and very data-driven, ultimately leading to a more effective and impactful outcome. So in regards to how Western Sydney can actually apply the VR solution, we recommend a couple things. So starting with implementing a very user-friendly design, utilize things like empathy mapping sessions and user surveys, as was mentioned by Brown, to really understand the specific needs and wants of library users when using the virtual reality resources. It's also very important that they are ensuring the design prioritizes user engagement, interaction, and immersion. So this includes things like easy navigation, relevant content, and immersive features. It's then recommended that they are adopting iterative prototyping, so this is to allow for continuous refinement based on any user feedback, and then of course making decisions based on this collected data, so collecting qualitative and quantitative data on user engagement, satisfaction, and uses, and of course usage patterns as well. They can then leverage analytical tools to track this data within the VR environment and gain insights for optimizing the overall experience. So we do believe that by following these recommendations, the Western Sydney Library can successfully implement the VR experience and provide users with a very valuable and engaging resource. So moving on to solution 2, which is enhancing the WSU library environment through the implementation of indoor green spaces. So drawing upon design thinking principles, particularly empathy and ideation, our initiative aims to address the needs of library users. And through our research and user surveys, we found that there was a really strong desire for environments that promoted wellness and reduced stress, especially in academic settings. So by ideating around the concept of indoor green spaces, we found a solution that aligned with these user needs, whilst also fostering a connection to nature, which has proven to be really beneficial. So we started by prototyping solutions and designs, and that was really crucial for ensuring success, as it allowed us to refine the design and functionality based on user feedback and preferences. So things like how much sitting space, how much group space, if they wanted atmospheric music playing in the background, things like that to help us really design what was wanted. Overall, it's really believed that through the introduction of indoor green spaces, WSU Library would be able to demonstrate a really strong commitment to supporting the diverse needs of its users, and it's a really significant step forward in creating a more inviting and beneficial environment at WSU Library. So in regards to how we can actually apply this solution, it's recommended that WSU Library do the following. So implementing biophilic design principles. So by incorporating principles of biophilic design, such as natural lighting and living plants, the library can create a really great indoor space that promotes wellness and relaxation. We also recommend taking a human-centered approach, so involving library users in the design process through workshops and feedback sessions to prioritise the features that actually cater to their needs and preferences, since they're the ones that are going to be using it. And finally, implementing sustainable practices. It's really important that they are, using locally sourced materials, energy-efficient lighting and water-saving technology to align with environmental sustainability goals and contribute to eco-friendliness as well.
Hi everyone, I'll be talking about Idea 3, and that is creating a mobile library app. We are focusing on improving the accessibility of Western Sydney University Library, and some of the issues that we identified through the survey that we conducted with 200 current students and teachers were As mentioned in the PowerPoint slide, 85% students struggling to find proper resources, 70% trying to find and finding difficulties in navigating library databases, 60% feeling uninformed about events and services and facilities, and finally 75% of students and teachers finding hard to access certain textbooks and articles. This really shows that current students are experiencing a lot of issues when it comes to using the Western Sydney University Library, therefore hence why we've come up with these ideas. In this slide, I'll be talking about three things, that is proposed solutions, prototype development, and evaluation. Firstly, I would like to talk about the challenges that we came up with and the proposed solutions that we've come up with. So this app would definitely serve as a wide-ranging solution, offering features like easy access to audio and video materials, electronic study guides, and library catalogs. We also aim to enhance students and teachers' engagement with live tutorials, real-time updates, and library events as well. This would actually personalize the recommendations to their each interest and preferences as well. Some of the prototype development that we came up with was following the proposal. We bordered on the development of prototypes for the mobile library access app, and these prototype underwent repeated improvements based on the feedback that we received from 30 staff members and students, which really emphasized that this really worked very quickly, and our final outcome was effective. The evaluation phase. So during the trial phase with the mobile library app, we collected around 70 participants through a variety of methods, including surveys, focus groups, and also looking at the app usage. With this comprehensive approach, it really showed us and allowed us to access various types of resources and the way how this app would function, the usability and the impact on engagement within the library resources. And with the insights that we did receive, it really showed that we could definitely meet the needs of our students and teachers. In this slide, I'll be talking about the three recommendations that we came up with for the mobile app library. Firstly, it's personalizing alerts and comments. And with this, students and teachers will receive push notifications for important updates like upcoming library events, available holds, and deadlines. What's even better is that you can choose the type of updates and the notifications that they want to receive and how often they want to receive them as well, which would definitely ensure that it's a personalized experience for the students and teachers. The second one is offline access and integration. This one actually focuses on accessing materials and other resources offline, so that it can be a seamless integration with the library resources. Students and teachers will have the opportunity to download materials for online reading or studying, also making it convenient for them to access anytime and anywhere, which would mean even if they are not connected to the internet, they still can click on their bookmarks, and wherever they were reading last, they can go back and read. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the inclusive collaboration. So our last recommendation is all about inclusiveness. When it comes to using the mobile library app, we believe that everyone should really have access to equal educational resources. So that's why we're making it very simple and easy for students and teachers with disabilities or differences to access university facilities. For example, for someone who's experiencing hearing impairments, they can access these materials easily in video forms rather than having to access in different ways and trying to find solutions on their own. This would definitely be helping effectively for our students and teachers, regardless of what circumstances they are, to make it.
So, in conclusion, our team has taken a design thinking approach to address the challenges facing the UWS library. Through our research methodology, we've identified significant obstacles and proposed solutions to enhance the library's effectiveness. Our recommendations focus on improving user satisfaction, accessibility, and also engagement. These include initiatives and proposals such as building green areas, developing a mobile library app, and creating a virtual library experience. To ensure the success of these initiatives, we advocate for data-driven decision-making and a user-centered design approach. By prioritizing feedback during prototyping and testing, the UWS library can adapt to the evolving needs of its users. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed our presentation.